all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning, I'm Alex Matthew and this is the All You Need to Know podcast. Usually this podcast is reserved for weekdays, but as you know, today isn't just any ordinary Saturday. It's budget day. It's the day that the government tells you how it plans to spend in the new financial year, the policies that it's going to give priority to. From the individual taxpayer's perspective, it's an important day because we'll know today how much more or hopefully less tax we'll have to pay in the year starting April. We'll be live through the day with special programming and also with the presentation of the budget. You'll find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and of course on the website bloombergquint.com. Now, in the top news, the Indian economy grew at a slower pace last year than projected earlier. GDP growth in 2018-19 stood at 6.1% compared with the provisional forecast of 6.8% according to the first revised estimates released by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation yesterday. GVA growth or gross value added growth was revised to 6% for the last fiscal compared with the provisional estimate of 6.6%. Now, there was some important economic data released ahead of the presentation of the budget. First, India's fiscal deficit widened further in December, and there are clearly concerns that the country will breach its budgeted target for the third straight year. The gap between the government's revenue and expenditure widened to 9.31 lakh crore as of December. That's 132.4% of the budgeted estimate. Bond and currency markets are expected to react sharply to guidance on the fiscal deficit. As of yesterday's close, the rupee stood about 13 paise stronger against the dollar at 71.35 and the yield on the 10-year benchmark government bond ended 4 basis points higher at 6.6%. The second piece of economic data was on core sector growth. The growth of 8 core industries recovered to 1.3% in December 2019 after remaining in the negative zone in the previous 4 months, helped by expansion in the production of coal, fertilizer and refinery products. This compares with a 2.1% growth in the same month in 2018. In major corporate news, Indiabulls Housing Finance has agreed to exit its real estate business in a deal with Embassy Group and private equity firm Blackstone. Indiabulls Real Estate has agreed to merge with itself some ongoing, completed and planned residential and commercial projects of the Blackstone-backed Embassy Group, according to an exchange filing. The combined entity will become the development arm of the Embassy Office Parks REIT. Indiabulls Real Estate will now issue shares to the Embassy Group investors, but the swap ratio is yet to be fixed. In international news, the UK has left the European Union after almost half a century of membership, setting the stage for 11 months of potentially fraught talks that will determine whether the two sides can avert a chaotic separation. It took as many as 1,317 days to get to this point after the Brexit referendum was conducted. Aston Martin has secured a $650 million lifeline to restore its balance sheet and help build a new sport utility vehicle after agreeing to sell a minority stake to billionaire Formula One owner Lawrence Stroll. In international markets, investors worry that a precipitous fall in the Chinese markets on Monday after a protracted break will weigh on global equities. There was a flight on Friday to safe haven investments and naturally equities were sold off. The 3 averages in the US ended sharply lower, losing between 1.6 and 2.1%. Now, it goes without saying that all the cues for the equity markets here in India will be from the Budget 2020, and you'll find all the updates, like I said, on the website, bloombergquint.com. For now, let me hand it over to Darshan Mehta, who's here to tell you all about the trade setup for the day in India. How are we likely to do, Darshan, at the start of this special Saturday trade?
Hi Alex, good morning everyone. It's the big budget day today, but the global cues are extremely weak. The US markets ended down by almost 2%, so expect a weak opening in trade today. So in terms of numbers today, no Nifty earnings there, but among the other results, there is Shobha Amara Raja Batteries, Thyrocare Technologies, Garden Reach Shipbuilders, Karur Vysya Bank and Mahindra Holidays. Among the numbers announced yesterday, a couple of large Nifty companies came out with numbers. ITC results were in line with estimates. The PAT was aided by a tax write-back. Growth was led by strong performance in the hotels as well as FMCG sector. Cigarette was stable. The underlying volume growth for cigarette was at 2% and the EBIT margins expanded by 60 basis points YOY for the cigarette division. HUL, the results were in line with estimates. The volume growth was ahead of estimates. The margin expansion was led by gross margin improvement and lower raw material cost. All the segments show margin improvement. Home care, food and refreshment segment showed revenue growth. Personal care drops. The management stated that rural growth was half times of urban growth, and this is compared to the historical run rate of 1.5 to 2 times. So there is real slowdown in the rural side. The management says that the near-term outlook remains challenging and they see broad-based rural slowdown. Tech Mahindra results were above estimates. The higher other income aided the PAT. Higher SG&A cost impacted the margins. Telecom, retail and financial services led growth and US was strong. The management expects contract ramp-up could offset some of the seasonality weakness in the first quarter, and they are confident of improving profitability in FY21. Vedanta results were above estimates. The ramp-up in key businesses was disappointing. Subdued commodity prices and lower volumes in zinc and oil and gas business impacted the revenues. The margins were aided by lower input cost and the PAT was aided by an exceptional gain. Power Grid results were in line with estimates. The profit was aided by higher other income. Castrol revenues down 2%, EBITDA up 7%, profit up 28%. The improvement in margins was due to improved product mix and lower raw material cost. AIA Engineering revenues down 4%, EBITDA up 5%, net profit up 21%. The company has 2% volume growth and a 6% dip in realization. The margins improved due to lower expenses and raw material cost, and management guided for a flat to neutral reduction in volumes for the year, given that there were two key events that impacted their volumes. Shoppers Stop revenue was flat, EBITDA up 2 times, and that was mainly due to Ind AS. There was a net loss of 6.5 crores versus a profit of 42 crores last time around, because this time around there was a deferred tax expense of 43 crores. Narayana Hrudayalaya revenues up 7%, EBITDA up 32%, profit was up 2.5 times, so strong numbers. Among the stocks to watch, Divi's Lab, in which the Andhra Pradesh unit received 0 Form 483 observations by the US FDA. Camlin Fine Sciences will be in focus. China JV's manufacturing facility's restarting of operations has been delayed from Feb 2 to Feb 10th, given what's happening in China. Everready Industries has completed sale of its land at Hyderabad for 100 crores to Newland Technologies. And in brokerages, Morgan Stanley downgrades Ipca Labs to an equal weight from an overweight, but raised the target price to $12.99 from the earlier $11.08. But there's much more you need to know before trade actually starts. For that, log on to our website bloombergquint.com and click on the All You Need to Know tab, and you'll be prepared for morning trade.
Thanks, Darshan. And as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you could listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.